Hello, John.
Hello, Oliver.
Today we're going to talk about your experience. You went to an Orthodox Mass.
I did.
What was it like?
It was a great experience, a great spiritual experience. That's what it was. Because there were 2 or 3 priests celebrating Mass in the traditional way, facing the altar, in their altar, and singing from a congregation that were where the priests were celebrating it. Marvelous spiritual singing, marvelous celebration of Holy Mass in the Orthodox way. Many times, people of all walks that was in this Orthodox church, young and I won't say old. There was some older folk, and I reckon I was probably the oldest person there. Now, it was as good of experience as I've ever had in the early days when Latin was the universal language of the Catholic faith in my young days, and I was an altar boy. There was altar boys dressed there too, in cloaks that were very demonstrative of a good spiritual foundation in their young lives. There was young and old there. There was many children there, and there was many people that you'll never see now at a Catholic Mass. Young married people with even babies that might be about 6 months old. And the strange good thing about it was that they were first, and there was quite an amount of them. There must have been, just to throw a rough figure on it, at this Orthodox Mass, and it wouldn't have been one of the main ones that we hear about, but I'm not going to describe where it was or anything. They received Holy Communion, and it's trying to think the priest, and there was 2 people holding a cloak like what we used to have in the Latin when Mass in my time was a pattern under the chin of the person receiving, but they had a cloak to make sure that there was nothing untoward happened as the young child and the mother or the father was holding the child, or the young lad that might have been 3, 4 or 5 receiving this Holy Communion. So the seed was being planted in their young souls at a very young age, and obviously their parents were teaching them the importance of that, so that as they grow up, it's in their system, because even babies in the womb know what's happening, believe it or not. So these are made in the image and likeness of God, and they've been nurtured in the Orthodox faith. Now, in our Catholic faith, children go to Mass, but they don't receive communion until they make their first Holy Communion at about 7 years of age, which was introduced by Pope Leo XIII not that long ago, in the 1800s or thereabouts, as a result of a little child, what they call Little Nelly in Cork, that at 4 years of age, because she was so holy, she was handicapped, but very spiritual, and she got a dispensation from the bishop to receive Holy Communion. And the Pope heard about that, and he changed whatever age it was down to 7 to make the first Holy Communion. But I see the Orthodox are doing things a bit different, and they're planting the seed quite early on, and the mothers or fathers are doing that, and they're not indoctrinated or any of that kind of stuff. The faith has been nourished. It has to be nourished. And the faith is nourished there. I'd love to see that faith nourished in the Catholic faith, the same as I saw in the Orthodox. I was very impressed, and I intend to visit more Orthodox churches that might be more convenient to where I visited today. I had to travel a bit of a distance to avail of that through the kindness of a good friend. And quite frankly, I found it a very moving experience. I was standing for a good bit, but somebody tapped me on the shoulder and offered me a seat.
Yeah, that was nice. The
And it goes on for a couple of hours. This is what I loved.
yeah, I mean the mass on the Orthodox Church would be about 3 hours long.
Yes. Well, people are staying there for that length of time. And by the way, as it was over, I was talking to one of the priests, and he was quite knowledgeable about the spiritual the spiritual situation in the Catholic faith in this country. The people still have it, but it's not being nourished as the way it should. Mm-hmm. He was very perceptive in that, because he was here in a good number of years, and he would be a married priest, because marriage is a prerequisite to be a priest in the Orthodox Church, except for the bishops. They're celibate apparently, but how they go about it in the Orthodox faith, I'm not 100% sure, but whether the important thing is that the amount of young people and people that didn't have children that were there was a great inspiration, a great encouragement for me to pursue where I'm at with the Christian TV Ireland project, and I gave some information about that by way of leaflets to those people that I was speaking to, and you got such a welcome, and not just a welcome kind of physical, because some of them mightn't even speak English, but their smiles was so infectious.
Yeah.
I found it very good, and I could have availed of a meal, but there was a time constraint on me because I had to travel.
Okay, and so the Catholic Church and the Orthodox Church they were one at one time, okay, and they split up around the 10th centuries.
That's right, but there's still there's still communion between them.
Yeah,
and they're amalgamated with the Catholic Church and recognised as such, as distinct from the Protestant. The Orthodox are certainly recognised, because there's Greek Orthodox, there's Russian Orthodox, there's Ukrainian Orthodox, and there was a new ambassador from the former Yugoslavia, what do they call it, Serbia. And he was interviewed there on EWTN there just on Friday, and he's the new ambassador. But he said there was an ambassador there from the 1870s, and very much recognised in Rome and accepted as good, and he was very good. But in the country that he was from, Serbia, only 5% are Catholic, mostly Orthodox, and then there's Jewish and that, but they're all treated equally. And it was good to hear this, because Serbia was from Yugoslavia and there was civil wars and one thing and another, but now that they're developing their Orthodox faith, which is a great blessing to those countries, I can see that. And so I've learned something about it, and I can see the people from other countries that have come here and practicing their Christian faith in the Orthodox way. What a blessing. What a blessing. And I intend to avail more of it, because it certainly nourishes the soul, no question or doubt about it. You come away with peace and joy in your heart and soul at the fact that you see what you see, and experience what you see, and see people blessing themselves quite a lot, and the priests as well, and facing the altar, and giving their talks then, and some of it was in English, which was great. And then there were some people that helped one to translate when they were given a sermon, or I presume they call it something. They don't call it homilies. They wouldn't. It would be a real spiritual talk, a real belief in God. Certainly, it was just a blessing to be there. I regard it as a blessing, and marvellous at my age that I've experienced it. I intend to experience more as time goes on.
Thank you very much, John. I think what we'll do is maybe in the future we'll cover more on the Orthodox faith and what it's all about.
We will indeed.
Because it's...
I intend to avail of it myself.
As you say, it has lots of reverence. It's very authentic.
Correct. And not alone authentic, but the number of people there that has come, and that this is the one place that they can come together. They're working in different areas, but by goodness, they're practicing the Orthodox faith this small building was full, and with young and I won't say old, because I don't think I didn't bother noticing that, but quite frankly, it was marvellous to see the amount of people and all the young children. Lovely. And being brought up in this way, they still are young, but it's going into their heart and soul. It'll be planted there. The seed is planted. What a gift. What a gift. We could learn a lot in the Catholic faith from the practice of the way what the Orthodox does.
Thank you very much, Sean.
Thank you very much, Oliver.